All right, guys, I just got a bunch of messages. Sorry. Do I ever plan to do a physique show? Yes, but it probably won't for about another 2 years. What health supplements have you employed, if any? Oh my God, so many. I take something like 60, maybe 68 different pills a day, actually. I don't even know where to start listing them. Creatine, taurine, B12, multivitamin. I take potassium, ZMA. I mean, there's a big list, guys. I mean, like 60, maybe 70 pills every single day. All right, now here we go, Bruce Lee. Your goal is to heal your knees and go back to running. Okay, gotcha. Well, actually, if you want to be healing your knees to go back to running, well, as a matter of fact, you're not going to want to run at all. What you're going to want to be doing is walking on an incline treadmill at a slow pace and gradually increase your pace and then decrease the incline. That's probably the best advice I could give you simply. Who is the best gym coach of all time? I don't know. That's subjective. It's an opinion. My personal opinion is try to learn from everyone and self-coach. That would be my opinion. As far as coaches I look up to, well, there are many, but each one I look up to for a variety of factors. I mean, most of you guys know Doug Brignoli. I look up to Doug Brignoli for his knowledge about biomechanics, for example. Let's see here. I can see the chat. Yeah. I just got a whole bunch. I think my internet was down or something. I just got a whole bunch of messages all at once. It's all good. I got you guys now. So anyways, yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. I was actually working on an article over here in my new book. I wasn't screening the questions. I'm not I'm not doing that. I just wasn't getting them. Sorry. So here we go. Hey, Bobby. Coach, are hammer curls just as good for the bicep? Or is it better to use an exercise supinating the wrist? So long story, short answer to that is when you are doing a bicep grip, a standard neutral grip, something like this, for the old bicep curl, you are activating 100% of the bicep, provided obviously you're isolating, there's no momentum, etc. So you'd be using 100% of the bicep. When you turn to a hammer grip, that's what you're referencing because it looks like you're using a hammer. You're using roughly 90% of your bicep and 10% of your forearm. My personal opinion on the matter is you should always do hammer grip. The reason for this simply is most people don't train their forearms, number one. Number two, it is safer and more natural. Number three, I could keep going, but long story short, just hammer grip. I recommend hammer grip to everybody. There really is very minor benefit to doing a neutral grip or a regular grip with the dumbbell. In fact, I find it actually kind of tends to subtract a little bit. People will try to use more momentum, lift their elbow up to get additional reps, etc. They tend to have more pain in their elbows as well due to the dislocating component. That would just be my advice on that. Let's see here. Yep, exactly. I mean, for example, I always do hammer grip. It's been a long time since I did one that wasn't hammer grip, except in demonstrations and stuff. But it's just the most natural. Those two muscles, your forearm and your bicep, work together to perform that movement. And it does help with, again, the dislocating component. And I should say it'd probably be no fun if I was to filter the questions. I mean, my first live, I don't think most of you are there for that, but my first live was actually just a whole bunch of people telling me how stupid I was. So I didn't bother putting it up. It was literally just me sitting here getting insulted, and then I kept asking them to give me their arguments as to why I was a moron or why I was stupid, and to disprove my physics, to disprove my knowledge of chemistry or neurology or anything else. And of course, they were unable to do so. They're called ad hominem arguments. It's where they just insult you for being skinny or fat or ugly or whatever. So don't worry about that, guys. I'm starting a new series. Just to talk for a quick second, I guess. I'm starting a new series. You probably saw one of the videos. It's Arguments for Intelligent Exercise. Now, the reason I had to start this series is because over the past 2.5, 3 years, I've had an open challenge to all personal trainers, all coaches, all bodybuilders in the entire world. I don't care who you are, how famous you are, how intelligent you are, to debate me about my knowledge. And so far, I've had something around 30 or 40 people accept the challenge of debating me, and each and every single one of these people backs out. They all back out citing a large number of reasons, or they simply never respond to me. They don't respond to my emails. They refuse to set up a Zoom meeting, etc. So because nobody wants to debate me on these matters, probably because they know they look stupid, I just went ahead and I started making an arguments for intelligent exercise, and I'll be doing one for intelligent nutrition, intelligent supplementation, intelligent steroids. I'll be doing all of these things coming up soon. The reason, again, is simply nobody wants to debate me. So I'll just be making my debate points myself without an opponent. And that's, again, it doesn't bother me because my debate points are irrefutable. The only thing you could possibly do to refute a single one of my points is say that you disagree because it's not fun, or you like variety, or perhaps you just fucking have a big ego. I mean, that's really the only thing you can disagree with me. There is no debate. You can't debate the physics. You can't debate the neurology. You can't debate the chemistry. You can't debate anything I say. There is absolutely no debate. Unfortunately, I would love to be in a debate, but nobody feels like getting in one with me. So out of curiosity, just sound off in the comments, how many of you guys actually only train using correct biomechanics, at least to the best of your abilities? I know it's kind of difficult to grasp them fully for everything, but to the best of your abilities, how many of you guys actually train correctly using biomechanics, the correct, 23, give or take 26 principles, or if you follow what I say, you'll also be doing breathing exercises and a few other things. But as far as just the biomechanics, how many of you guys train exclusively using biomechanics? By the way, I got about 25 minutes left of this session, guys. Not sure if it's me or not, guys, but I'm not getting your comments again. Could be me. I'm having a kind of shitty internet the last 2 weeks. I'm in Florida right now, and it's a rainy season, so my internet is very spotty. Even recording videos is a bit of uploading videos is a bit of a problem. It's taken like 6 or 7 hours instead of 20 minutes like it used to, 30 minutes. I think it's just the way the weather is at the moment. Again, I don't actually know, though. Oh, there we go. Bobby, you use Mike Mentzer's high intensity with, yep, that's exactly the way that I started my biomechanics about 5 or 6 years ago. However, I would say, I'm not sure your age, Bobby, but for me, the new science does actually show that training till failure is not as effective as training close till failure for more sets and increasing your frequency. So just for those of you who are not sure what me and Mr. Bobby are talking about here, Mike Mentzer had the principle of training till failure with as few sets as possible, basically 100% accurate, stimulating all types of your muscle fibers. To keep it very simple though, the trade-off is you don't get to target that muscle again. The muscle's not fully repaired, I should say, for you to target it again for anywhere between 6 to 9 days, depending. So if you'd be doing biceps, triceps, whatever, a standard arm day, you wouldn't really be able to train that muscle again for 6 to 9 days because it won't actually be fully recovered or super recovered. When you train just short of failure, failure meaning you are incapable of performing another rep correctly, and you stopping 2 or 3 reps just short of that, you can get more sets in. You actually do 3, 4, 5, 6 sets, and you can do that exercise again 3 or 4 days later as opposed to 6 to 9 days later. So you'll be fully recovered and super recovered, even doing more volume, and then you can hit it again. Now, this took me a little time to wrap my head around. I had to read all kinds of studies about it just to make sure that I wasn't, maybe I had it biased perhaps towards the Mentzer style training. Perhaps I had a mental bias towards it, but the new evidence is actually a bit overwhelming that you do want the volume, the frequency more than you want going to failure. That being said, I think going to failure is something that everybody should do occasionally just to keep you mentally sharp, mentally focused. It is a very fun style of training, one which I recommend everybody do, just so you can find out what your limit is, what your actual weights are, and then you know when you are actually stopping a couple reps short of failure. I mean, most people, unless they've actually been to failure with like a bicep or a leg extension or pick a movement, they don't actually know what failure is. I've trained many clients, many hardcore bodybuilders tell me they train to failure, they train to failure. They have no idea what training till failure is till I get a hold of them. So it's very simple. Training till failure means you are completely incapable of performing another rep, either the concentric or the contracting, the raising of the weight, or the lowering, the eccentric, or the lengthening of the muscle. You are incapable of performing anything at all under control. That is failure. And most bodybuilders have no idea what failure is. The average gym rat has no clue what failure is. And until you're able to get to failure, you don't actually know how close you are to failure. So for me, doing bicep curls, I know for a fact if I grabbed a pair of 50s and I did alternating bicep curls and I had myself completely immobilized, my upper arms completely immobilized, only my forearm lever is moving, I would 100% fail the concentric around 6 to 7 reps. I would then fail on the eccentric, maybe another 5 or 6 reps, and I would fail on the isometric static hold, maybe 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 3 sets of that. That would completely demolish my bicep. So I don't train that way. I train with 35 pounds. I train with 40 pounds for my bicep curl. Same situation, I immobilize my arm. However, I'm now able to perform 20, 25, 30 repetitions, and I stop just, give or take, probably 2 to 3 reps outside of what my true failure would be. Now by doing this, I'm able to hit the muscle again 3 or 4 days later. It's a little bit sore sometimes, depending, but it's able to be hit with the same level of intensity. I know I'm making progress because I track everything, all of my measurements and everything else. And on top of the fact, I track my sets, my reps, and my weights. And if as long as they continue to increase, I get more reps, or I add a set, or whatever, I know I'm making progress. I have made continuous progress with no plateaus for the past 7 years. That being said, there's obviously better kinds of progress. So any of you who understand biomechanics, you know that you will make tremendously more efficient and more rapid progress training with biomechanics. You all know that. It's very simple. You know, well, most of you would know that if you use Mike Mentzer's training philosophies of training till failure and biomechanics, your progress is going to be even faster. And now I'm telling you something else. If you're training with the new knowledge of stopping 2 to 3 reps short of failure for additional sets and reps, increasing the volume and the frequency, you'll be making even more rapid progress again. And if you include some other stuff I talk about, like eating enough protein, sleeping enough, performing respiratory exercises to increase your volume of exercise in the gym, your ability to perform more sets and reps because your heart rate variability has increased, and all these other things I talk about, it will once again become even more efficient. This is how, well, on top of genetics and drugs, this is how some people can just start off training and they'll build 5 or 6 pounds of muscle a year, and some people will build literally none. A lot of that's genetics, a lot of that's steroids, but a lot of that is also the fact that some people use correct knowledge, some people use correct intensity, and some people use correct recovery. And if you have all of those blocks in place, you're going to be light years ahead of everybody else who's going to the gym, half-assing it, with no plan for frequency, no plan for sets or reps, no plan for how much protein, no plan for how much sleep, no plan at all. You're never, ever, ever going to make progress with anything if you don't have a plan. And you're never going to make progress efficiently with anything if you don't have the right knowledge. So this is why I spend, 20, 25 hours a week working on my YouTube channel for you guys to have the knowledge for free. My articles, my Etsy store is full of $1, $2 amazing pieces of information and tools for you guys. The reason I do it for $1 or $2 is because I know you guys don't have much money. Even my bodybuilding books on my Etsy store, comprehensively, everything you could possibly need to know is $20. I mean, this is what I talk about. You don't need a coach. You don't need a trainer. You have no need to go to a gym. You have no reason for machines or equipment. You have absolutely no need for friends to support you or family members to cheer you on. You don't need drugs to get big. You need none of this. You need consistency. You need the correct knowledge, and you need the patience to apply those two things over an extended period of time. Now, obviously, just doing that with exercise alone is going to give you tremendous benefits to other areas of your life. If you learn how to be consistent with your exercise, your health improves, your brain function improves, you're in a better mood, you are more confident, you feel better, and you look better. You could then take those same exact principles that you learned in the gym of consistency, developing a body over time with patience and knowledge, and you can translating it to growing a company, to starting your own business, something I encourage each and every one of my clients to do. Working for yourself is the best thing you could ever do. I could never have a boss. I was a chef for 16 years, and it's pretty simple. I would go into a place, I would take it over, and I would run it. I would answer only to the owner, and he knew damn good and well I needed to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do to make that place profitable. That is the end of story. That's how I had a boss my whole life, is by letting them let me do whatever the fuck I wanted. When you have somebody who's intelligent, who's very creative, who's very adaptable, and who actually knows what they're doing, you don't want to micromanage that person. And when you're doing something like you're going to the gym, in the beginning, you're going to start off poorly. You're going to start off doing the same thing you see everybody else doing. But then if you're actually serious about changing your life, you'll do some research, you'll find somebody like me, or you'll just find the right information. You will hopefully make sure that it makes sense. You just won't believe somebody because they look good, they have a good body, or they have a lot of following. You should do your own research. You then can start making progress. Now, this is the same thing as writing a book. Most people don't want to write a book. They have no reason to write a book. They have nothing to put in a book. They have no knowledge to fill with the book. If you are one of those people who wants to write a book, you probably haven't started yet. And that's because starting a book terrifies you and you don't even know the half of it. I've written 3. They're quite a lengthy process. You have to write every day for a long time. Just like you have to go to the gym, you have to exercise consistently every day for a long time. Then you have to go back over all of your writing and you have to filter it. And you have to throw like 90% of that out. Just like when you go to the gym and you start learning things, you have to throw out 95% of what you learned immediately. It has to get thrown out over time, burned off like dead wood. When writing a book, you then have to go through your ideas and sharpen them, simplify them, make them easy to understand and apply so others can also understand them. You have to have other people look at your work to confirm that what you're doing is accurate. When you're in the gym and you're training and you're trying to make progress, you have to have other people's input. You have a distorted perception of reality. This is where other people come in. This is what culture is. We would all be completely insane if we didn't have other human interactions. Other people tell us who we are. Other people tell us how they see us. How we see ourselves is a bit irrelevant. Now again, it's the same thing when you're going to the gym. Every single time I go to the gym, I basically have to keep my eyes closed during my workout. It's not because I'm an asshole, and it's not even because I'm focusing a little bit. is because I'm focusing. Most of it is because I can't not stand seeing what's going on around me. The fucking moronic personal trainers who have no idea what they're doing. They're giving their clients no results whatsoever. And in some cases, they're actually injuring them. Okay? I can't stand seeing that. I can't stand seeing the 20 or 30 people in the gym performing exercises which have no value and are damaging them. I can't stand seeing people go to the gym and go through the movements. I don't understand that. I care too much. I have too much empathy, and it bothers me to see that. It physically annoys me to see that. I would love to help them, and I would love to correct them. But I already know my advice will fall on deaf ears. I have tried it with hundreds of people in dozens of gyms. No personal trainers actually want to learn. They want to make money. Personal trainers don't want to help you. They just want your fucking money. This is my problem. Gyms, they don't actually want to help you. If they wanted to help you, do you think that they would have a gym full of garbage machinery? Do you think that they would hire personal trainers who have no idea what they're talking about? They don't. They just want your money, people. Now, perhaps I'm jaded, but I'm an introvert. And I believe in training at home, away from other people. I believe in training in a focused environment, alone. I believe if you want to get something done, you have to isolate yourself so you can actually think and you can work productively. This is why I don't spend much time on social media. I post whatever projects I'm working on. I say, here guys, here's a bunch of free information. Here's a whole set of handicap flashcards so you can exercise at home if you're in a wheelchair. That was this week. The week before I said, here guys, here's a set of free exercise flashcards to perform the perfect exercises in your home for free. The week before that, it was an article about why you're a fucking idiot if you use a barbell. Either you have no idea what you're doing in the gym, you have a gigantic ego, or you're just purely ignorant of the fact that barbells are significantly less efficient than using dumbbells and cables or independent limb exercise. Every week I have one project I would like to complete for the betterment of everybody. Every week I complete the project, I put the results on my social media, my Instagram, I post, and I leave. I don't look at anybody else's stuff, I don't scroll, I don't care. It's not my business. That's their lives. That's just like me walking by and looking in somebody else's window. It's, oh, what are they doing in there? I don't give a fuck about your life. You live your life, I'm gonna live my life. I get people, you all know, hate comments, emails up the wazoo, people telling me what a piece of shit dumbass I am. I don't understand. I spend my whole life attempting to help people. I stay in my house. I harm no one. I simply reveal bullshit when I see it, and I do everything I can to educate. It is what it is. This is the way the world is, and this is why I stay in my house. I work as hard as I can to help people to build my company. I work as hard as I can the entire day, and when I go in public, I mind my business, because in my opinion, most people are losers. They are below average. They have no interest in actually getting better or being successful. They have no interest in helping others, merely using them. And I don't have time or tolerance for that. I do not like it, and I don't put up with it. I just don't. So if you ever see me in public, it's unlikely, but more than likely, I'll be in my own little world, and I'll have no desire whatsoever to interact with you. And that's because until the time comes where you ask me for help, or you show to me that you are somebody I should respect, I will basically treat you like an NPC or a non-player character. This is how I personally treat my life. I focus all of my energy exclusively on myself and my clients, making my YouTube videos, articles, and books. I think this is the best way and most productive way that I can spend my time. So guys, I have about 5 minutes left here. So let me get here back to the questions. Okay. So recommend limiting the workout duration to under an hour to keep the cortisol level at bay. Well, I don't ever have a workout that's more than an hour. All of my workouts are 6 to 7 movements, 3 to 6 sets, and it's very rare for my workout to be over an hour. If your workout is over an hour, you're probably not training very efficiently. Am I enhanced at the moment? No. Have I been in the past? Many times. Yes, I know quite a bit about steroids. I've played with them quite a bit. I've been everywhere up to 255 pounds at one time. But again, that's a personal decision. I have no problem with steroids. Again, I think they're a tool, just like anything else, and you should know how to use them. Okay, so you're 52. Oh, thank you, Bobby. I think you said that earlier. Is it better for you to have more rest? I'm not sure if you mean rest between sets, rest days, or sleep overall. I apologize. You get 3 sets for each body part every 6 to 8 days. So, Bobby, just because of your age, it would be a little bit irrelevant except for how much protein you're consuming. You're going to want to eat more protein. I would urge you to try just stopping a couple reps short of failure, still saying with the 3 sets, but then upping your frequency to like every 4 days. I bet you'd get better results actually, but just try it if you want. As for the protein, 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight while in the surplus. I'm never in a surplus, so I do not believe in bulking and cutting. I think bulking and cutting is pretty fucking stupid. All you need to do is be very slightly above maintenance, and you will build muscle. That's it. My calories are almost permanently somewhere between 3,200, 3,500. If I'm cutting, I will drop it down as much to 2,600, but not much more than that. And that's about it. As far as protein, when I'm on steroids, or enhanced as you'd put it, then I will be consuming more protein. Not much more, but a little bit more. About 50 grams more. And when I'm not, I just cut it back a little bit just because my body can't actually digest it. It's not much of a point. Okay, great. Good to hear, Bobby. Coenzyme Q10, no, it's not. I did play with it once before, didn't notice anything, didn't see any definitive research on it. If you know something I don't, please let me know. That being said, I do check and try new supplements quite frequently as long as they show promise. Oh, you're very welcome. I just thought that once a week I would start doing these little live coaching sessions. I addressed it with you earlier this week, but I no longer read comments. They're just really mostly horrible. I mean, excuse me. People are just looking to be mean or hateful, or truly I think people just are ignorant. They just don't actually understand physics. They don't understand chemistry. They don't understand basic anatomy. It's a bad mentality to have where you think you know everything, unfortunately. But you're very welcome, Bobby. I'm going to get this cut off here, actually, guys. I think it's a good time to stop. But it's a pleasure helping you all, and I will see you all next week.